Hey there, aviators. Today I want to introduce you to an app that I think you might like. Zoho DataPrep is an intuitive data preparation tool. It's designed to simplify the process of cleaning, transforming, and enriching data. For print and promo product distributors, Zoho DataPrep can seamlessly import data from various sources like CRMs, spreadsheets, databases, and even APIs, making data management much easier. You can quickly remove duplicates, correct errors, and handle missing values, saving lots of time and ensuring data accuracy. For instance, distributors could use Zoho DataPrep to consolidate customer data from multiple platforms into a single, clean data set, making it easier to track customer activity and trends. You can also transform data to generate insightful reports or prepare imports into other platforms. By streamlining these processes, distributors can focus on growing their businesses rather than getting bogged down by data issues. There's a limited free plan for Zoho DataPrep available that you can use to play around in. And if you'd like to try it, please use the link below to sign up. It'll support what we're doing at Promo Pilot, and you'll also get a $100 credit from Zoho that can be used for any of their apps. Now I'd like to walk you through how to import order data from the Liftoff Commerce API. So again, DataPrep is incredible. I'm just scratching the surface, but I wanted you to see that you can connect tons of data sources, 250 plus transforms to prepare your data, automated workflows and pipelines for getting other data sources in, merging them, and sending them back out. So when you first log into DataPrep, you're going to be asked to create a workspace. I'm going to call this workspace Liftoff Demo. And then next you choose your data source, and you can see there's tons of different data sources. You can even just upload files that you have on your computer if you want to get those into DataPrep. But when you're connecting an API like the Liftoff Commerce API, you'll use the URL data source. Next, it asks for a dataset name. I'm going to call this Demo Orders. And then you select the method you're going to get those and your API endpoint. I'm not going to go real deep into what some of these things mean. I just want to get you started with data from Liftoff flowing into DataPrep so that you can get onto the fun stuff. We're going to get orders from the Liftoff API. And here I am at dev.liftoffcommerce.com. And I've clicked on orders, specifically get orders. And I want to point out that we've got a URL here, which I'm going to copy. And then you can see this little green icon that says get. That's our method. So back in DataPrep, I can choose a number of options here, but get is the one I want. And I'll paste in my endpoint URL. We won't go into perimeters and headers in this, but I did want to point out pagination. So pagination is basically the concept of you can only get 100 items at a time or whatever API limits you might run into. And different APIs will have different methods for going to the next page, so to speak, of items. With Liftoff, you want to use the offset and limit method. And your offset parameter is called $skip. And your limit parameter is going to be top. Your initial value, set it to 0. Your limit value, set it to 100, since that's the API limit that Liftoff has. And then for number of requests, I'm only going to do one request. But if you had 300 orders available, you would want to do 3. Okay, the last thing that we need to do is configure our authorization. For Liftoff, you'll choose Basic Auth. You can give your connection a name. We'll call it Demo Playground Orders. Now your username is going to be the account code for your Liftoff store. And then your password is going to be the API key that you have available to you in your admin user profile. All right, so I've got my password in. We can go ahead and click on import. Perfect, we've got some data. But it doesn't really quite look like what I expected it to be. We've got just one row and 2 columns that don't make a whole lot of sense. And if we hover over this row, we'll see a little bit of preview, and it just kind of looks like random text. It's not though, and I'm going to show you how to transform that data into what we're really hoping for. So if I click on this little arrow up in the column header, I get my transform menu. And these are all the transforms that I can apply to this column. Some of it will remind you of the sort of things you can do in Excel. I'm going to click Extract from List. Then I'm going to convert the list items to rows. And so now you can see in my preview, I'm beginning to see something more akin to what I was expecting. I've got multiple rows, one per order. Let's give this new column a name. I'm just going to call it Data for now. And I'll click Apply. Great. This is looking a little better, but we're not quite done yet. I still have this strange looking text here. So I'm going to apply a transform to my new data column, and it's called Extract from Map. Here it gets a little interesting. We need to select the keys to extract into columns. If we look in this preview column, you'll see the word status, and then a colon, and then deleted. That's the order status. Where it says status, that is the key. And you can think of that key as your columns. So if I click in that key field, DataPrep automatically presents me with all of the keys that I can extract. So let's go ahead and do that for status. I'm going to give this new column a name, and I'm going to spell it correctly. And there you go. We have the order status broken out into its own column. I can do this for any or all of the keys in this data. So let's get the order number. And maybe next we'll do the in-process date. Now, if I wanted to extract all of the data into these columns, then I would need to continue with this process until I've done all of the keys. I'm not going to make you watch me do that for everything, but I do want to point out that things get a little interesting with the billing information. And to demonstrate, I'll show you an API call. So here we have a lot of this information that we just looked at. But if you'll notice, under billing, we have even more keys listed. So how do we get that information? I'll show you. I'll make a new column. This time I'll choose billing. And automatically it shows me another selector to select another key. And it's asking for which key I want under the billing information. So let's go with address 1. For anything under billing, that's what I'm going to want to do. Choose billing, choose the key that I want, so on and so forth. So I'm going to go ahead and click Apply. I didn't do all of the columns I could have, but there's nothing stopping you from doing that if you wish. And here we go. We have our extracted data. That original data column is now gone because we don't need it anymore. Now, this first column doesn't make a whole lot of sense, so maybe we want to delete it too. And it lets you select multiple columns to delete if you wish. Just the one is fine. I'll click Apply. From here, there's any number of things I could do. I could apply more transforms. I could do find and replace. I could even bring in an additional data set and combine those tables. So if I wanted to get the line items for specific orders, for example, I can do that. Right now, you have the understanding of how to get API data from Liftoff into DataPrep. And I hope that is helpful and inspires you to give it a shot. Maybe you'll find a new app that you love. One more thing I want to point out. All that configuration we did was saved as a rule set. And so here you can see we had our data brought in. We extracted from list. We extracted from map. We set all those keys. We deleted the OData context column. Everything that you do as you're massaging this data and applying transforms is logged here. And what's really nice about this is I'm going to have other data sets created from other Liftoff accounts. I can save this as a template, and I can call it Liftoff orders, give a little description, and save. Next time, if I was at this step, rather than go through all the clicking, I could come to the rule set tab, and I could just import that rule set from my template, which is fantastic. You can even export rule sets. And when you export a rule set from Zoho DataPrep, you get a special file that can then be imported to other DataPrep accounts. So to help you with Liftoff orders, I've actually saved a more complete version of this rule set that we looked at today. And you can get it from our website at promopilot.io. Click on the blog, look for Zoho DataPrep, and we'll have it posted there. And that's it for this video. I hope that I've introduced you to a new tool that is helpful for the work you're doing at your company. I've provided you a jumpstart on how to get API data from Liftoff into DataPrep in case you want to play with that. If you don't have Liftoff, then you can bring in Excel documents from other reports that you might have and begin to do some of the same transforms and see what DataPrep is really capable of. If you decide to give DataPrep a try, please do click the link in the description. It really helps us out, and you'll get a $100 credit with Zoho should you decide to buy. Thank you so much. Bye.